Hello everyone, my name is Fouad, and I want to welcome you in the first lecture of our course. Our presentation today is on non-communicable diseases in complex emergency. But what is complex emergency? A complex emergency, by definition, is a major humanitarian crisis that is often the result of a combination of political instability, armed conflict and violence, social inequities, and underlying poverty. The climate change led to increase the frequency of flood, storms, drought, and extreme temperature. On the other side, destructive wars and state violence led to more and more people to leave their countries and become migrants. Conflict has become more protracted. In 2013, the average length of conflict was 37 years, comparing to 1990, where it was 19 years. According to the UN Agency for Refugees, in 2017, 65 million forcibly displaced population worldwide. Among them, more than 22 are registered refugees. The rest are internally displaced population or stateless people, and very few of this number were able to resettle in other countries. 55% of refugees worldwide came from three countries: Syria, Afghanistan, and South Sudan. So, during an emergency, if we only addressed to evacuate people from affected areas or provide transportation, shelter, food, and water, or just work to prevent injuries and infectious diseases, then what would happen to people with ischemic heart diseases that taking medication, or people that have diabetes and need insulin, or children with blood disorders, or patients receiving hemodialysis for kidney failure? According to the World Health Organization, in 2016, 41 million persons died because of NCDs. Among them, 15 million were died premature, between the age of 30 and 69. Among those, 80% were, 85% were in low and middle income countries. The increase in NCDs among displaced population can be attributed to several factors. The number of people living in protracted exile climbs, and conflict in middle-income countries with older population become more common. Also, urbanization and lifestyle with less physical activities and more consumption of unhealthy food could be one of the factors that led to increase in the prevalence of NCDs. A recent systematic review suggested that conflicts are associated with increase in long-term morbidity and mortality from heart diseases and other chronic diseases. Well, so why should NCDs be a priority during emergency? According to several studies on the total deaths caused by NCDs, the result showed that the largest source countries of refugees in 2015 faced at the same time increase in the number of the percentage of death because of chronic diseases. The two major examples is Iraq, that passed through a long conflict conditions, where 62% of Iraqis died because of chronic diseases. The same situation in Syria, that witnessed devastating war, where 64%, 46% of death was because of chronic diseases. When comparing the trend of several chronic diseases between the refugees and host countries, it showed the same trend of increasing, by age. That means both displaced population and the host communities are facing the same problem. Now, there are many challenges for addressing NCDs in emergency. One of them is the fragmented approach to health intervention and coordination during and post-emergency. The lack of capacity of health institutes to monitor and evaluate efforts. The compromised health system and disrupted policy formulation. The escalated population health needs, and the limited research on the impact and management of NCDs and few operational emergency outline. Unfortunately, NCDs continue to receive little attention from a humanitarian organization in the acute phase of disaster and in the long run. The healthcare gap for individuals with NCDs, in addition to the lack of evidence-based guideline in emergency, will lead to greater NCD morbidity and mortality. This is a major challenge that humanitarian agencies need to address during the coming decade and with such difficult conditions. Thank you for listening.